Trauma. In this video, we are going to be talking about trauma. Trauma is defined as anything that is deeply distressing or disturbing. This definition is internationally broad, as you have to look at trauma as being subjective. How do we recognise trauma? The first thing to highlight is that we can all react to trauma in different ways, experiencing a wide range of physical and emotional responses. There is no right or wrong way to think, feel, or respond to trauma, so it's important not to judge one person's reaction to another. There can be many emotional symptoms of trauma. Examples could be shock and disbelief. You have a hard time accepting the reality of what happened, or you feel numb and disconnected from your feelings. Fear. You worry that the same thing will happen again, or that you will lose control or break down. Sadness or grief, especially if people you know died or suffered life-altering consequences. Helplessness. The sudden, unpredictable nature of violent crime, accidents, or pandemics can leave you feeling vulnerable and helpless and even trigger anxiety or depression. Guilt. That you survived when others died or feeling that you could have done more to help. Anger. You may be angry at your God, the government, or others you feel responsible for your situation, or you may be prone to emotional outbursts. Shame, especially over feelings or fears that you cannot control. Relief. You may feel relieved that the worst is over, that you were not as badly affected as others, or even hopeful that your life will return to normal. There can also be physical symptoms of trauma. Examples of these are feeling dizzy or faint, stomach tightening or churning, excessive sweating, trembling or shaking, experiencing cold sweats, having a lump in your throat or feeling choked up, rapid breathing, pounding heart, chest pains or difficulty breathing, racing thoughts, being unable to rest or stop pacing, difficulty concentrating, memory problems or confusion, changes in your sleep pattern, you experience insomnia or nightmares, unexplained aches and pains, headaches, changes in sexual function, loss or increase in appetite, eating more or less, eating at different times of the day, or excessive consumption of alcohol, nicotine, or drugs. Although there are actually several types of trauma, there are widely considered two main types. Type 1 refers to single incident traumas, unexpected events that come out of the blue. They can be referred to as shock or acute trauma. A condition widely related to type 1 trauma is post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Type 2 refers to complex trauma that may have been experienced as part of our childhood or early stages of development. This type of trauma is repeated over a period and is often part of a relationship where someone might feel trapped emotionally or physically. They may also feel powerless to prevent the trauma. So now we know what trauma can look like. Should we rush out and tell every young person we work with that they may be experiencing trauma? Absolutely not. But there are ways in which we can work with young people and families that can have very positive impacts on their recovery. Self-care is so important. If you are already depleted by physical and emotional exhaustion, you are less able to handle the stresses that may come your way. When you are at your best, you become more resilient and better able to manage stress. Here are 3 other reasons why self-care is important. Self-care can improve your physical health. While a healthy diet and exercise form the backbone of good physical health, self-care and pampering can trigger the relaxation response. Relaxation, in turn, can improve energy levels and prevent stress from further damaging your health. Self-care can boost your emotional health. Your emotional needs are just as important as your physical health. Having a solid mind-body connection can make you feel good about yourself and your life, which contributes to long-term feelings of well-being. Valuing yourself is one of the best things you can do through self-care. Self-care can help you nurture others. If you spend a solid amount of time taking care of family members but neglecting yourself, you are at risk of getting burned out from constantly giving. It can be more difficult to care for others when you've forgotten to nurture your own needs. Self-care means taking time to do things you enjoy. Usually it involves everyday activities that you find relaxing, fun, or energizing. These activities could be as simple as reading a book, or as big as going on holiday. Self-care also means taking care of yourself. This means eating regular meals, getting enough sleep, caring for personal hygiene, and anything else that maintains good health. Here are some things to think about when you want to focus on self-care. Make self-care a priority. There will always be other things to do, but do not let these interrupt the time you set aside for yourself. Set specific goals. It is difficult to follow through with vague goals such as, I will take more time for self-care. Instead, try something specific, such as, I will walk for 30 minutes every evening after dinner. Make self-care a habit. Just as eating one apple does not eliminate health problems, using self-care just once will not have much effect on reducing stress. Choose activities that you can do often and that you will stick with. Set boundaries to protect your self-care. You do not need a major obligation to say no to others. Looking after yourself is reason enough. Remind yourself that your needs are as important as anyone else's. A few minutes of self-care is better than nothing. Set an alarm reminding you to take regular breaks, even if it is just a walk up and down the street, or to have an uninterrupted snack. Oftentimes, stepping away will energize you to work more efficiently when you return. Unhealthy activities do not count as self-care. Substance use, overeating, and other unhealthy behaviours might hide uncomfortable emotions temporarily, but they cause more problems in the end. Keep up with self-care, even when you are feeling good. Doing so will keep you in a healthy routine. In addition, self-care might be part of the reason why you are feeling good.